Hello, in this video I'm going to be showing you how to use the edit button to apply a filter and identify students who earned a particular performance level on any given TEKS-based assessment. So in order to do this, you start with on the Analyze tab. You can open up one of your class periods, or you can start with all my students if you're a teacher, or start with Quick Views if you are looking at an admin level role. Drill down to your assessment. You can always break down this assessment data by teacher and or class period at a later date if you start at a later time if you start with all my students or Quick Views. Once you have your assessment, I like to go ahead and color code them. And it's important to note that if you are doing this for a district-based assessment, the approaches, meets, and masters performance levels have already been set. If you are analyzing a teacher, team, or campus test, those may or may not have already previously been set. So if you do not see the approaches, meets, and masters columns, then that's something that's going to need to be fixed by the test creator by going to the assessment tab, adding in those approaches, meets, and masters percentages, and then hitting rescore on the administration tab. But that can be done even after an assessment has been given. In order to use the filters to identify students for a particular performance level, you're going to need to know how Aware codes these different performance levels, and that comes from the STAR test. Because STAR has 4 different performance levels, it codes students as approaches or above, and so therefore you might see multiple yeses going across columns. And then meets is considered, meets, they meet grade level or they're above that. Okay, so for example, a student that earned a 50% on this assessment did not meet the standard for passing. I know that because there's a no. 63%, this student was only at approaches because they have only a yes, and then no's for meets and masters. 75% on this assessment was enough to earn the student a meets expectation because they have a yes in approaches, a yes in meets, but no for masters. But as any students who are earning masters, like for example this 100%, they have yeses in all of the columns, approaches, meets, and masters. I say that because that's going to help you understand how to set up for filters. So let's go ahead and start editing this view in order to identify students for the performance levels. I click Edit. Now filters can only be added to columns. I'm going to keep the one test that I am analyzing. And I've already got my approaches, meets, and masters here. So if I want to identify only students that were at masters on this assessment, I would select masters, add a filter, select yes. That automatically, if they have a yes in the masters column, that automatically, those will automatically be master's students. There's nothing else that I need to do. So that shows me only the students on this assessment that were at masters. Now I can remove a filter, and then let's say I want to identify the students who didn't pass this assessment. I would click on approaches and select no. There is no did not meet as a category, and so as a column, and so therefore the only way to find the students who didn't pass is to say no for approaches. I click update. There are my students who did not pass this assessment. So did not meet and masters are the easiest one. They only take one filter. Now let's go ahead and look at the two in the middle if I want to identify only students with approaches or only students that were at meets. So approaches, I'm going to add a filter and select yes, but meets students also have a yes, and master students also have a yes in the approaches column. So I want to come to my meets column and add a filter that says no. That would mean they had a yes in approaches but no in meets, and I don't have to also put masters, because if they have no in meets, then they also would have a no in masters. And I click update, and there are my students that were at the approaches only. And so I'm going to clear these filters to show you how to identify students that were at meets. So I select meets, add a filter, yes, but master students will also have a yes in the meets column, and so therefore I'm going to select masters, add a filter, and choose no. So when I hit update, Now this is only going to show me those students that that scored meets.